Hello. I have entirely too many projects. So I thought, what better than to start one more never-ending project by starting a YouTube channel? Good plan. Let's get started. No, but in all seriousness, I do have too many projects, and they take up too much space, physically and mentally. And every year I say, this year I will finish them all, with more and more doubt every year. And every year that doesn't happen. Every year I say, no more buying new fabric, no more starting new projects. And every year I buy more fabric and I start new projects. Worst of all, I buy new fabric to start new projects that I never start, so it just sits around in piles of shame and self-judgment. I've played with the idea of starting a YouTube channel before. I've even tried a few times in the past. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure why it seems of interest to me. Seems like a lot of effort, and I'm not particularly looking to be anything resembling famous. I like my privacy, and I'm far too much of an introvert for that. But yet, it appears to be yet another art form that calls to me. Today I have decided to say, screw it, we're trying it. To perhaps quiet the voice in my head that is romping around and chanting like a gremlin. Try it, try it, try it. But also for a more notable reason. Because I have too many projects. Like so many other good folks on the internet, I've decided that declaring my intentions to the great void where people will see might just help keep me accountable. And perhaps, if I'm lucky, it might keep me inspired and motivated too. So what will this look like? Frankly, I do not know. For as much as I've watched YouTube, I'm new to the content creation end of things, which is as fun as it is anxiety-inducing. It's the phase where I have to, or get to, experiment a whole lot. Try out different filming styles, editing styles, formats, etc. Who knows how often I will upload? Not me! I'm just hoping to avoid my classic be consistent for a short time, then uh-oh, life got in the way, and goodbye to those plans thing that I always do. Also, I'm gonna be honest, I fear what's on the other end of the screen. You, for those that are kind enough to watch this. I don't know who you are. Some stranger that happened to find this channel? That's to be expected. Someone I know? That's somewhat scarier, because this is a quiet little thing I'm doing for my own sake. A fun little hobby, hopefully. But now maybe you get to see a side of me that you don't normally see. And maybe that will change how you think of me. Hopefully not for worse. As long as we both know I'm opening a door to my personal life, with all the best intentions, and a good dollop of anxiety. So please be nice. Right now I'm addressing this to the void because I don't know who is on the other end. But I'm hoping the void is friendly. So what are we actually doing here? Sewing. Mostly sewing. I have about 75,000 projects, either started, waiting to be started, floating as an idea in my head, or just a pile of fabric with potential and a lack of plans. I've been sewing and more notably collecting fabric since I was 3. We're 25 years down the line on that front now, and I've amassed quite the dragon's hoard. I think it's well past time to get this nonsense under control. My goal is ultimately to complete all my UFOs, or unfinished objects, and have a much more manageable number of whips, works in progress, happening at once. And maybe figure out for myself a clear definition of where the line is between those, because right now, UFOs and whips register as effectively the same thing to my brain, albeit with different levels of actual progress for the works in progress. But I need to establish a dividing line between those things to minimize how overwhelming my to-do list seems. A project for another day. I'll add it to the list. The other part of my goal is to destash. My aforementioned dragon's hoard is frankly excessive, especially relative to my space and time. So despite all my UFOs and whips, I want to start more projects, but intended to use what fabric I already own. Is it really a new project if I already own the fabric for it? The answer is not if it's already taking up space in my mind. So then, where do I start? What's my plan? What are all the projects on my list, and how do I intend to tackle it? Look man, I don't know. I'm just a person trying my best here. I can't have all the answers in one video, can I? Perhaps at some point I'll pull out my projects to show you what madness I have going on. Maybe I will make a video where I just attempt to name all the projects in my head. Both of those seem very overwhelming. When you're running a marathon, you're not supposed to think about all the miles ahead of you. You're supposed to focus on the mile you're on. And let's be honest, this is more than just a sewing marathon. It's an ultra. And for now, for today, I'm just gonna focus on the mile I'm on. This is the project that happens to be in front of me today. It's my scrap quilt, or part of a series of scrap quilts. I started it in high school. A dangerous combination of hoarding, trying to avoid textile waste, and not wanting to deal with the line where fabric stops being useful. The one quilt I started is now several pieces forming tops and backs to at least 2, if not 3, separate quilts. I tend to work on this project when I'm between things with deadlines, usually because it requires very little thinking, so it gives my brain a rest from big project mode. I've been making a lot of good progress on this guy lately. This week I've been in the final rounds of the red and warm tone scraps. It's a process of piecing, ironing, trimming straight edges, and repeating, until eventually I get big enough chunks to cut nice squares out, which then creates new scraps for me to start again with. Today I finally got down to my last bits for my final squares. I only had one rather small usable scrap left, small enough that I didn't feel bad at discarding it for cabbage. Of course, by final squares, I mean the last that I can get out of the scraps. If I'm very, very lucky, it will be all the squares I need to complete the quilt top, which is one big step towards getting this quilt done. If not, I'll need more scraps, and this project will have to wait as a UFO for a while longer. Either way, it's definitely something you will be seeing more of. Thank you for watching, or mostly thank you for listening to me monologue. I have plenty more to say, but also plenty more to sew, so I shall save it for another day. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye! I don't know how to end this video. I don't know how to end this. This is my first video. What am I doing?